Terence "Bud" Crawford has built his legacy on more than just wins and highlight reel knockouts. His greatness lies in the ability to face fire, adapt on the fly, and prove time and time again that he is a champion in every sense of the word. Few fights demonstrate this better than his 2019 welterweight title defense against the dangerous Egidijus "Mean Machine" Kavaliauskas. On paper, many expected a one-sided showcase for Crawford, another night of routine dominance. Instead, what fans witnessed was a gritty 9-round battle that revealed Crawford's resilience, adaptability, and unshakable championship mentality. Rather than being remembered for ease, the fight is etched in memory because Crawford was tested, rattled, and forced to show the warrior spirit that separates elite fighters from the rest. From the opening bell, Crawford attempted to impose himself with the poise and precision that had become his signature. His jab was sharp, his stance switching seamless, and his footwork smooth as ever. Analysts often marvel at Crawford's ability to shift between orthodox and southpaw without hesitation, a gift that creates constant puzzles for opponents. But on this night, Kavaliauskas showed he wasn't intimidated by reputations or highlight reels. Known primarily as a heavy-handed puncher with limitations in mobility, the Lithuanian challenger surprised everyone by entering the fight calm, composed, and prepared with a clear strategy. He used a stiff jab to the body early, something few had attempted against Crawford with success. Crawford's famous, educated feet allowed him to glide around the ring, creating angles and space with minimal wasted motion. But unlike past challengers who froze under the pressure, Kavaliauskas was determined to close the distance. While he didn't have Crawford's fluidity, he possessed solid timing and patience, which enabled him to cut off the ring in spots and force exchanges. The first round ended with a sense of intrigue. Crawford controlled moments, but Kavaliauskas had announced that he was not there to survive. He was there to fight. The second round brought more of the same resistance. Crawford tried doubling his jab, probing with feints, and sneaking in body shots, but Kavaliauskas remained steady. His jab was not only consistent but also authoritative, disrupting Crawford's rhythm and keeping him honest. The expectation that the challenger would crumble under pressure didn't materialize. Instead, he grew more confident, waiting for Crawford to plant his feet before firing counters. For fans watching, it became clear this wasn't going to be a routine defense. This was shaping into a real fight. Then came round 3, the turning point that electrified the crowd. Kavaliauskas landed a perfectly timed right hand that staggered Crawford. Though the referee refused to rule it a knockdown, replays and live reactions told a different story. Crawford's glove appeared to touch the canvas before he popped back up. For one of the rare times in his career, Crawford looked vulnerable. The challenger smelled blood and pressed the action, throwing combinations and forcing Crawford into dangerous exchanges. The champion fired back with his own counters, but the momentum had shifted, and the building buzzed with shock. The invincible Crawford was hurt. The fourth round became a defining moment. His southpaw stance, even after feeling the danger earlier in the fight, a bold tactical decision that shocked both commentators and fans. This choice kept the contest unpredictable and electrifying. The middle rounds became a war zone as both men stood toe-to-toe, exchanging heavy fire in the center of the ring. Every punch that landed drew roars from the crowd, and the atmosphere was electric. Crawford absorbed some clean shots but avoided serious damage, keeping himself in position to turn the momentum. Round 5 marked the beginning of Crawford's comeback. His corner urged him to stay calm, tighten his defense, and avoid reckless exchanges. But Crawford is not the kind of fighter who shies away from confrontation. His competitive instinct thrives in chaos. Instead of retreating, he leaned into the challenge, digging viciously at the body. The strategy was textbook: wear down the opponent's stamina, sap his legs, and break his will from the inside out. As the minutes ticked by, Kavaliauskas' composure started to crack. Midway through the round, Crawford connected with a clean shot that visibly stunned the challenger. The champion's killer instinct immediately flared, and though Kavaliauskas refused to go down, the momentum had clearly shifted back to the defending champion. The sixth round was a brutal test of willpower. Kavaliauskas showcased remarkable heart, continuing to fire back even as punishment mounted. He landed occasional right hands that reminded everyone he was still dangerous, but Crawford's rhythm had returned. The champion's punches were sharper, his defense tighter, and his body shots relentless. Instead of staying at a safe distance, Crawford boldly stood his ground, almost daring Kavaliauskas to trade. The exchanges were wild, dramatic, and filled with suspense. Yet within that chaos, Crawford's superior skill and precision began to shine. By round 7, the tide had completely turned. Crawford, now operating mostly out of the orthodox stance, marched forward like a predator closing in on its prey. This adjustment unlocked his right hand, and soon he was smashing Kavaliauskas with uppercuts and overhands that rocked his head back violently. The finish felt inevitable. Midway through the round, Crawford unleashed a dazzling combination that sent Kavaliauskas to the canvas for the first official knockdown of the fight. The Lithuanian challenger rose courageously, but Crawford could smell the blood in the water. He pounced with ruthless aggression, hammering his foe until the bell finally offered a brief reprieve. The arena exploded, recognizing that Crawford had survived the scare and was now firmly in control. The 8th round became a display of grit on both sides. Kavaliauskas, bruised and battered, still refused to quit. He launched a few desperate flurries, landing some shots inside, but Crawford appeared unfazed, even grinning as he absorbed them. He fired back instantly with blistering combinations, mixing head and body attacks that left no room for escape. Each exchange further demoralized the challenger, and though his bravery earned respect, Crawford was systematically dismantling him with precision and cruelty. By round 9, the end was written on the wall. Crawford's timing was flawless, his shots snapping with venom. Early in the round, he landed a lunging left hand that staggered Kavaliauskas, immediately followed by a vicious uppercut that sent him crashing to the canvas again. The fight against Egidijus, Mean Machine, Kavaliauskas was far more than just another title defense for Terence "Bud" Crawford. It was a statement about what it truly means to be a champion in the unforgiving world of boxing. Entering the ring as the overwhelming favorite, Crawford was expected to cruise to victory with minimal resistance. Instead, he found himself in the middle of a storm, dragged into a firefight that echoed memories of his 2014 battle with Egidijus Gamboa. In the tense 3rd round, when a sharp right hand from Kavaliauskas buckled him and brought his aura of invincibility into question, the crowd felt a collective gasp. For the first time in years, Crawford looked human. But it was in that very moment of vulnerability that he revealed why greatness is not built on perfection but on response. He didn't panic. He didn't crumble. He adjusted, gritted his teeth, and began a systematic breakdown of his opponent, rising to the occasion like only true champions can. Kavaliauskas deserves equal credit for the spectacle. Though he walked away without the belt, he left the ring with his reputation elevated. He came in as an underdog but left as a respected warrior, proving that he had the timing, patience, and power to trouble one of the best fighters of his generation. For several rounds, he dragged Crawford into a dogfight, landing clean shots and exposing cracks that many thought did not exist. His bravery ensured that he would never be remembered as just another name on Crawford's resume. He became the man who tested the champion's resolve in a way few others had managed. Much of the post-fight debate centered on the controversial 3rd round moment when Crawford was clearly rattled. Many observers argued it should have been ruled a knockdown, as his glove appeared to touch the canvas. Whether or not the referee's decision altered the course of the fight is ultimately irrelevant. What mattered most was Crawford's reaction. Great fighters don't rely on perfect circumstances. They find ways to win even when adversity strikes. That sequence reminded the world that even the best can be stunned, even the greatest can wobble. But what sets them apart is the ability to recover, reset, and rise. Crawford did exactly that, and in doing so, reinforced his reputation as a pound-for-pound superstar. The victory extended his undefeated record and added yet another knockout to his highlight reel, but its significance ran much deeper. Not all legendary performances come from flawless domination. Sometimes it is the bruising battles, the ones where champions get tested, hurt, and forced to fight back, that define a career. Against Kavaliauskas, Crawford showcased the complete package: skill, power, adaptability, and above all, heart. He proved that when pushed beyond comfort, he doesn't just survive, he thrives. Trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre summed it up best when he explained that sometimes a fighter abandons the game plan in the heat of competition. Crawford's pride and competitive fire pushed him into trading more than necessary, and while risky, it made for unforgettable drama. Fans were treated to a thrilling display of courage and ferocity, a fight that blended danger with brilliance and chaos with mastery. Crawford himself admitted later that he may have underestimated Kavaliauskas, a lesson that serves as a warning for any elite champion. Complacency has no place in boxing, where every challenger has the potential to shock the world. What began as a supposed routine defense transformed into a hard-fought battle that demanded adjustments and resilience. And in conquering that challenge, Crawford added a deeper layer to his legacy. When boxing historians revisit his career, they may point to his undisputed triumph at super lightweight, his clinical win over Victor Postal, his destruction of Kell Brook, or his dominance of Errol Spence Jr., but the Kavaliauskas fight holds a special weight precisely because it was not perfect. It was raw, dangerous, and dramatic. It showed cracks in the armor, and the iron will behind those cracks. For fans who love the sport not just for artistry but for its emotional drama, this bout stands as a classic. It had everything: an underdog's courage, a champion's vulnerability, and a spectacular finish that reignited Crawford's aura. Boxing is not defined solely by records or titles. It is defined by moments. And the image of Crawford being stunned, regrouping, and then storming forward to finish the fight is one of those unforgettable snapshots that embody what greatness truly is. Egidijus Kavaliauskas may not have taken the belt, but he etched his name into Crawford's story forever. And Crawford, once again, left the ring as a champion, not because he was untouchable, but because when tested, he proved indestructible. If you loved this breakdown of Crawford's unforgettable battle, don't forget to like the video, share it with fellow fight fans, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful boxing stories, legendary rivalries, and the kind of moments that keep this sport alive. Your support helps us bring more energy, more passion, and more unforgettable fight nights straight to you.